Hey, Wisdom Leaders. Bill Blaine, good to see you. October 14th, should be, but you may be watching this on another day too, and that's fine. I've just tried to tie the Proverbs. There's 31 Proverbs, and I'm trying to do one a day. So welcome. Good to have you here on day 14, Proverbs 14. And today I'm going to again take the proverb and not go down all the way through it. There's like 35 verses in this one. I'm going to focus on the very end, just a few of them, just to highlight one, that different versions have different interpretations just a little bit, but I want you to focus on the words, the actual words embedded in them, like the word wisdom, the word wicked, the word evil or foolish, and because they repeat themselves throughout all of Proverbs. And I think God is trying to awaken our spirit up and awaken our knowledge base up again to what's right and what's wrong, what's truthful, what's not. Because our culture right now is working through a lot of what he woke me up in the middle of the night a few months ago with the word cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance in my thinking and what I've been studying a little bit is where we think one way, believe one way, even in our core values, but we act a different way. And a lot of times that's due to social pressure, conformity, and just trying to get along. If you just want to be gracious about it, it's sometimes I go, well, that's just the way everybody wants to do it, and therefore. But we're in a time and a space right now where we're going to have to really act and state what we believe, because I think God is shaking everything that can be shaken. And he says in Hebrews 12, he says, I'm going to shake everything that can be shaken so that what remains is of him. So this shaking, all this stuff that I've talked about, and again, it's not that I'm some smart guy or something. It's just that the Lord has been gracious to drop some stuff in my mind, and I'm just sharing this with you as I've shared before. I'm just one beggar showing the other beggar where the food is. I'm not always right. But I have been asking the Lord for wisdom on this, and that's why I'm doing this wisdom series. He says, okay, Bill, I want you to do this before the election. To just bring out his truth, his words. And again, I'm not trying to apply it necessarily to every aspect of the political process or our cultural challenges and so forth. I'm going to let you do that in your own way. But this is where the scriptures, I think he wants to say, I've got the truth. I've got the answers. I've got the solutions. So with that, let me go to 14. I'm going to read it first. Let's say I'm going to go to verse 30 through 35 real quick in the New Living Translation. And I'm just going to, you can hear the words there, and then I'm going to quickly go over to the Passion Translation, read through that. And all I'm doing is that I'm picking up the words and picking up the concepts of right and wrong, truth, lie, folly, wisdom, those kind of things. And then I'm going to give you some words that I'm going to go ahead and put it in the Facebook page that you can get on the online and in the concordances and stuff like that out of Strong's. Strong's is a great concordance. That's the name of it, Strong's, like strong. It's a concordance that you can get all these words from and definitions. The two different applications I use, one is called Bible Gateway. That's where I love all the different translations. And then there's one called the blueletterbible.org. And that's a really good one for drilling down into the Strong's Concordance and the strong definitions and stuff. So anyway, here we go. Proverbs 14 verse, I'm just starting at 30 because I like the way this ends. It gives you some really good contrast and applicable thoughts about our culture right now. A peaceful heart leads to a healthy body. Jealousy is like cancer to the bone. Those who oppress the poor insult their maker, but helping the poor honors him. The wicked are crushed in disaster, but the godly will have refuge when they die. Wisdom is enshrined in an understanding heart. Wisdom is not found among fools. See, there's one of those words. Then what's a fool? So we'll talk about that in a second. Godliness, or righteousness in this case, makes a nation great. But sin, what's that mean? Is a disgrace to any people. We need to find that out. A king rejoices in wise servants, but he is angry with those who disgrace him. Now, let's go to the Passion Translation. And again, you'll get the correlation. You can go back and do your own comparison. I'm just reading through this to give you the concept of the words going through it that we really ought to understand. So where was I? Verse 30, a tender, tranquil heart will make you healthy, but jealousy will make you sick. Insult your creator, will you? That's exactly what you do every time you oppress the powerless. Showing kindness to the poor is equal to honoring your maker. The wicked are crushed by every calamity, but the lovers of God find a strong hope even at the time of death. Wisdom soothes the heart of those with living understanding, but the heart of the fool just stockpiles stupidity. Now, the other one, I think we called it a fool, so they said, here's stupidity. You'll see why in just a second. A nation is exalted by the righteousness of its people, but sin heaps disgrace upon the land, and we're feeling that. A wise and faithful servant receives promotion from a king, but the one who acts disgracefully gets the taste of the anger of the king. So I broke apart some things, and I think what I'm going to do is just cherry pick. I got like 10 or 15 of them. I deal with sin, despise, perverse, fear of the Lord, fool, righteousness, upright, wicked, evil, wisdom, wise. You can do this, and I would highly suggest it. So I'm just going to give you a few so that, don't make this a really long video, but I would encourage you to do that in the Blue Letter Bible. What you do is you can just click in there and do the Proverbs 14:30 and in the Blue Letter Bible, or just Proverbs 14, and it'll give you all the verses, and then you can click on it, and then you can drill down into that. You'll figure it out. But let's take the word fool. It's Strong's H3684. It means to be a fool. How about that? But you drill down a little bit, it says impiety, stupid or silly. I love this word, dullard. He's a dullard, and he's an arrogant one. Let me unpack this one word, impiety. I looked it up in the English, that's an English word, and so it means to be, let's see if I can find it here, a lack of reverence for God. So impiety is what we call a fool. And so we see, and when God's talking about a fool in there, it's somebody that in their mind and in their heart, they're not looking to the fear of the Lord. They're not trying to embrace the Lord. They're tending to run away from God. And often those are the ones that Satan captures. And so we see that irreverence for God, that impiety, is what God's calling foolishness. And so you'll see that when he couples foolishness and wickedness, and then maybe the word perverse and crooked, you see the words all of a sudden violent, disruptive, sin natures kind of things. And you go, wait a minute, I'm seeing that happening today. And so now you can see, oh my gosh, well, this is the path that happens with those impious people. I've never used that word too much. Hey, are you impious? But that's why it's important to drill down on these words and by the word of God. I think God wants to raise it up. So I want to encourage you tonight or today to do that. As you're looking through Proverbs 14 and when we go forward, and you may have already been doing this, so good job. But I want your comments down here. As you're reading these words, all of a sudden, bam, all of a sudden something's going to light you up, and you're going to, please put it in the chat thing, comments in Facebook, or send them to me in an email, and I'll put them on there or whatever. But I just want to just get this out there. I just feel like God's just saying, hey, let's get this truth out there. So please share with us your thoughts. And going forward, the aspect of applying this on a daily basis, ask the Lord when you're reading this, say, Father, show me, is there something I need to change in my behavior today? Is there something I need to do to keep moving forward, to have this fear of the Lord? And again, I think I shared this almost in the first version or first video thing. The fear of the Lord is beginning of wisdom. I love that. And you often hear that he talks about the heart is the seat of all that. He says, out of the heart, Jesus says, out of the heart flows the things of life. And one of my favorite verses is Matthew 5:8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And I'll often put, I think I've said before, see and hear God. I think those are connected. And so as you're reading through Proverbs, say, Father, just give me a clean heart. I want to have that pious way, not impious way. I want to hear your voice. I want to not only get the words on the page right, but I also want to begin to be right as I'm going forward. And not only that, I want to show other people the way. And when we get to Proverbs 16, I have another kind of imagery for you about the path of life. And that's where, in the sin, in H2403, the Strong's, it says, one of the definitions is missing the mark or missing the path. So the righteous walk on the right path. And that's where we're going to go, and we want to lead others with us. So anyway, God bless you. Please share, as they say, down below or wherever you want to put the comments, or send them to me, text them to me. Love you being here. Thank you. You can go put your cape on and be a wisdom warrior too. Take care. Bye.